What's up? You guys are way out there. This is a cool moment. It feels kind of like this thing is tipping, you know, in a pretty profound way. It's very cool. I'm John. I was right here on the stage shooting this project with Sir Ben Kingsley, Old Stories Moses, which was a kind of workflow I want to talk about. Anybody familiar with the term like coding vampires? Like, is that a thing? Yeah, it's where, you know, these tools are make you so productive that you don't sleep. So we've got a facility that I want to invite you all to in a minute. It was great to be here on this stage. We had it for a couple months. It was kind of on loan, but down at Manhattan Beach Studios, not too far from here, we have a stage to really pioneer this workflow. Very similar. So last night, we were like, I'm really passionate about kind of this immersive hybrid filmmaking approach that I can talk about. But I'm like, hey, we should show them the stage, you know? And so let's just film something. Started late night, and then it was like, hey, what if a dinosaur ran into the wall, you know? And it just went on from there until almost sunrise. But here's a demo of the facility. This is a video. It's important to have fun with what we do. So this is a quick demonstration of the facility. This was last night's bender. We had a good time, but this will show you the space that we work in. Check it out. Are we ready? Okay. It is now 11:03 p.m. We're recording this video the day before we want to show it. Of course we are. I'm John. This is Innovative Dreams. This is our research lab, our sound stage, our daily exploration, and frankly, obsession, to try to find out the bridge between the digital and physical world, to combine the new tools that we have grown to love, the GAI tool set that we believe is going to be the basis of a lot of work moving forward, and the filmmaking process that we love even more. What we're exploring here is what we call immersive hybrid filmmaking, and from here, you can go, well, anywhere. Let me show you what I mean. We just built that. Where do you want to go? That is a lot of horses. Sorry. They said this one's intense. Yeah, that tracks. Excuse me, pardon. Big day for everybody. We believe the only limit should be the filmmaker's imagination and the quality of the story they are telling. Okay, pirate ship, hurricane, sure. Anybody know where they keep the towels on these things? I don't think this was necessary.
You're gonna want to get.
Why are you handing?
Up to your shoulder, cheek weld, trigger finger straight along the receiver until you're ready. You got it?
No, I have no idea how to use this.
Move it on me now. I really think you should reconsider.
I'm being very clear with the universe that I'm cold.
Okay, that was awesome. I take it back.
I am still so cold.
Mr. Erwin, did you catch Damien and his goons?
Trouble is, ma'am, I don't know who that is. And I have never solved a crime in my life. I should have made something up. We didn't go anywhere. And yet, well, we kind of went everywhere. And that's the point. Now, normally this process takes weeks or months and is cost prohibitive to most productions, but we believe scope and scale should be widely democratized to filmmakers everywhere. So we can do all of this in the same day. In fact, we can do all of this in less time than it's going to take you to watch this video, because our partners at AWS and camera to cloud technology, as soon as we call cut, 30 seconds later, that footage is on our servers and on the edit suites. I'll take you there, upstairs, on timelines for AI artists and editors who can work on the footage in 4K, HDR, final pixel, and we can be filming down here, all in an immersive, real-time,
hybrid experience. It's the most creative I've ever felt. Let me show you. Also, we couldn't do it without that Blackwell loaner. It is smoking. It is so fast. It powers much of the wall, and we're never giving it back, NVIDIA. Sorry, we bolted it to the floor. Okay, we'll continue. We're now upstairs. This is where the magic happens. This is where we can be generating the footage that we just shot downstairs. Normally, it's teeming with people, except that it's after midnight now. So the point is that we can be generating on these stations right here. What we just shot downstairs, everything's on wheels, so it can also move downstairs, so we can also generate on the floor. But the point is, within just a few minutes, we can be editing what we just shot. And this is not previs. This is all able to be up-resed to final. It's a whole new way to work. It's immersive, hybrid filmmaking. We feel it's the future of our industry. This is Innovative Dreams. The only limit is your imagination. Here we go. Oh, look, it's me. Hi, John.
Well, hello there.
Okay, we're gonna have to work on that performance. It's a little much.
Oh.
Oh, come on. That's still overacting.
There's other stuff I could show, but first of all, I've done these demonstrations a few times, and I feel like I just say the same thing over and over again. And we're going to do a panel here in a minute. I'm happy to show you the trailer and the workflow. We're really pioneering combining performance capture with no motion capture suit and virtual production in a whole new way. And Moses was the first project that we really tried it on after really using these tools pretty extensively on my show House of David, which is on Prime. If you haven't seen it, so I'm happy to show that to you. But first, like who all is? It just seems like a real tipping point for. I love being a part of this community. Who's here? Like content creators, like directors, companies, like tools, and just those that are interested. I don't know. By the way, Gareth Edwards is here somewhere. I'm super excited about that. I turned my garage into a camera shop after his movie The Creator, bought 18 FX3s, built a bunch of camera systems. We shoot House of David on the FX3, a lot of them, because of Gareth, until my wife was like, get all this stuff out of the garage. But I'm happy to show you the demo, but what are like, I'm just curious what questions are most on your minds. I just want to make sure I answer them. Anybody? Yeah, collaboration models for existing. One of them that's great is Luma's Agents tool and their boards feature. Here's a hack. It took a lot of time for me to realize this, and a lot of experimentation, a lot of bleeding on the bleeding edge. Your best AI artists are your existing department heads retrained, especially editors, because they spent years wanting a shot they didn't have. Now they can make it. Yeah. Intellectual property and legal concerns and how to mitigate them. That was one of the first things that we solved by talking to every lawyer at Amazon over and over again. I could talk about that a lot. Anything else? Just want to make sure that this is helpful to you. Yep. We are. So Innovative Dreams is the lab that kind of emerged on House of David and then Moses, and we've spun it out because we want this technology to evolve quickly. And I believe we're all in this together, and that a rising tide lifts all boats, and we should help each other and share what we're learning and compound our knowledge instead of repeat each other's mistakes. So yes, we're working on other productions inside and outside of Amazon. Yeah. Long form continuity. Yeah, is a big and how you have your assets and how you solve for continuity. Great. Okay. Ben Kingsley must stay Ben Kingsley. Sir Ben Kingsley must stay Sir Ben Kingsley as he did. Yeah, that's why we're very passionate about the fusion of performance capture and virtual. It's kind of like Avatar meets Mandalorian. We call it Mandatar or Avalorian. I don't know. But I think there's something sacred about the human face, and I just think it's better when every performance is driven by an actor. I'm very passionate about that, and I think it's better. I think in the long run, it's also going to be cheaper. Anything else? Yeah. Oh, you have to ask foundation models that. We're close. We're like under 5 minutes. But in terms of true real-time workflow, that's a great question. Any foundation model here that can give us that'd be amazing. Yeah. Yeah, what a business model for 2 or 3 people in the studio. I was just in Cannes, and we're talking about Moses, and there's a filmmaker beside me, and they asked what his biggest line item in his budget was, and it was he and 6 of his friends making this incredible movie, and he said, Kling credits. And I'm like, well, Kling's right. You should give him credits. So yeah, there is a model for what I love about this technology set is typically if you develop a technology set, it's applicable only for, what you're doing, whether it's Pixar animation or whatever. This is a technology set that applies to my films and projects, as well as to animation, as well as to small crews. It's truly a layer of acceleration in everything that you do. I'll give you a demo of our process. And before I did, it was late last night when we were working on that model or that video I just showed you. Again, I can show you this. This is the type of stuff that we're pioneering. We can be here against the wall, just in development. So what's in the wall doesn't really even matter. And we can be here in not in real time, but in 5 minutes. By the way, we decided to do this last night. The facility is really it's like a Willy Wonka chocolate factory. It's like a lab. We're dedicating it to the exploration of this process and workflow. It's our daily obsession. So I don't know if Caleb's around. I love Curious Refuge, but we were talking about this and some others. We decided late last night while we were working on the video to just open up the facility. And so we're going to take a day in June and open up the facility. You're all invited. It's Stage 21 in Manhattan Beach. All the tools will be present and on. I'm sure Josh will give credits. He's right there, right? Yeah, Josh's going to give credits to Luma. I'm sure Zoe's somewhere. Dramino throwing some credits. We'll have lots of credits, lots of tools. Come by the studio. We're just going to open it up. Anyone that wants to come can come. And we're going to do that, I guess, on June 18th is the day we picked. We were tired last night, though. But if you guys want to come and just hang out in the studio, I love being a part of this community, and it's just amazing energy, and I love being among you. And so we're building this box for this workflow. Come check it out. Okay, what I'll do is before our panel, this is we used all these tools kind of allegorically on House of David within the context of how film and television shows are made today, but we started dreaming of this new workflow that we just tried. So here is the trailer, which is a bit outdated compared to the actual episodes, and a summary of the workflow on Old Stories Moses. I'll show that to you, and then answer a few questions, and then we'll have our panel. Here we go.
Tell me what happened. I saw fire. A whoosh. Flames wrapping round every branch, every leaf. As if the fire was alive. And I heard a voice.
What did he say?
He knew my name. He told me that I must return to Egypt, to the place of my birth, to where my people are in bondage as slaves.
Let me tell you a story my father told me. A Hebrew woman's son was raised in generosity in this house.
I will name you Moses, for I drew you from the water.
This very sword given to him. And he used it to betray us all.
I was foolish then, but now I come on behalf of a God who needs no sword. If you resist him, you'll suffer a fate worse than theirs.
I will never let your people go. just turn around and save my boy!
Over 1 million people. How will we do this? Behold the power of your God.
On House of David, we were the first show to integrate fully the GAI toolset into a commercial production at scale. But as we applied these new tools to the current way of working, we realized that on the horizon was a new method of filmmaking entirely. And it just arrived much sooner than we thought, and we're testing it right now. It is a combination of two methods. The first is performance capture. The best example of this is the movie Avatar. The second is virtual production. The best example of this is the show Mandalorian. With performance capture, normally the actor is in a motion capture suit. There's dots on their face. There's a camera on their face. Their movement has to be synced to cameras in the ceiling. There is a lot of technical delays and a lot of limitations. We can do performance capture without any of it. No mocap suit, no dots on the face. So it's incredibly fast and there's no need for green screen. And we can generate shots in a matter of minutes that would take weeks otherwise in the traditional VFX process. So when you add tools like Luma's AI agents and their boards feature, it allows us to have a visual interface and a place for all of us to collaborate. And using tools like Magnific UpRes and Topaz Astra, we can get to 4K HDR. We can be performing, generating, and then editing all at the same time. So an editor can raise their hand and ask for a shot, and we'll do it. We'll perform it right there. There's not technical delays in a soundstage that are typical to performance capture and virtual production. And there's not the delays typical in location-based filmmaking, waiting on a sunset, waiting on the light to be right, waiting on company moves to move around a location in countries all over the world. Instead, we can send small crews and they can scan real-world locations and we can bring the world to a stage in Los Angeles. Is it cheaper? Absolutely. Is it faster? Exponentially. But those two things are not nearly as important as the fact that it is simply a more collaborative, creative way to work. Two episodes are streaming on Wonder Project on Prime right now. Okay, we're going to have a panel in just a few minutes, but let me see if I can answer some of your questions. So on the legal and copyright issues, think about these tools as tools for synthesis primarily. There's like all these words that begin with A. They augment and amplify and accelerate your work, right? And then they synthesize inputs really well. So you just need to own your inputs. To work commercially, you need to be able to prove your inputs the same way that you would prove chain of title on your script. Basically, that's the way to create a kind of a legal, copyrightable workflow. You solve the two issues simultaneously. I think there's amazing work that can be done by teams of 5 or less. And then, on Moses, we had about 100 people working in Los Angeles. Here's to working in LA again. I'm not to say that I love working in Europe. I'm grateful. But sometimes you feel like Maximus and Gladiator, like, just let me go home, please. And so I really do think innovation is our way to bring production back to the city, and I think we can. And I'm grateful that Amazon is committed to that as well. What were some of the other questions? Collaborative workflow tools. That was one of the great inhibitors. We found out that a lot of the foundation models were getting a set of data that was more for like solo creators. And so I think relationships are driving a lot of this. When we found out we get in relationships with them and ask them to build the products that we needed, they did. And so tools that allow for collaboration are really allowing for commercial production at scale. And I would say, Luma's agents that we'll talk about here in a minute is an incredible tool. I mean, your department heads can be on it working in like an hour. again, I think one of the great possibilities of this technology is retraining. We found that it is so much more efficient and cool to take existing department heads, people that really have dedicated their life to this industry and to the language of film. Teaching them these tools is really cool. So tools that are intuitive, human, and collaborative enough for your department heads and crew members to use are, I think are essential. Illuma is one of those great tools. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Yep. Hard prep, it looks accelerated. I mean, I shouldn't say this. I'm going to say this. But Sir Ben had a window in his schedule, and I had this idea. So with Moses, I was bored over. We did a performance capture test in January, early January, like over the holidays, and then I wrote it in January, late January. Amazon greenlit it in February. We shot it in March, and 2 episodes are up on Prime right now. So that kind of content, I don't think anybody understands how quickly you're going to be able to make content, and what that's going to change in terms of the relationship with the audience. But we prepped it. I shouldn't say this. We prepped it in 3 weeks and shot it in a week. And it's 3 episodes, 60 minutes. Never left the stage. Went to 45 locations. Did a bunch of Gaussian splat scans of Spain and Greece, where we shoot House of David, brought the locations here, and it was amazing. If we hadn't done it, it definitely would have been the project that killed Ben Kingsley for a lot of reasons. But yeah, we use a lot of tools. So we talk about, we use a lot of tools. We have the privilege of shaping some, and we stack the tools in really creative ways. I think both Kling and Seedance are great companies, in my opinion. They have great teams dedicated to great products. There's some great American companies as well. There's great companies all over the world, but the way I would rate a video model is first physics. Does it behave accurate in the physical world? Then beauty and aesthetics, then resolution, then color space, in that order. And I would say those are 2, profound leaps. They're amazing companies. We're going to have a panel to talk about, I'll take one more and then we're going to have a panel. Yeah, I could talk your ear off about why I have some hard contrarian points of view. And I believe in virtual. I really do. I believe in virtual as a tool of immersion for the actor, if nothing else, and then for the director, and then for the camera, and then for the entire crew. So when you can immerse yourself into an environment, especially because the cost of virtual is coming way down, and we're trying to drive that cost down. And I also believe in really trying to keep the close-up real. And if you keep the close-up real, a third, maybe half of your close-up medium shot reel against the wall, lit correctly, allows for you to not have to touch those shots. They're in camera and done. We also have found AI is great as a tool to zoom out. So if you really light a shot, close-up medium correctly, then you can much easier generate wide shots. You guys ready? Come on up. Welcome Luma to the stage. Do we sit way back? We're going to journey so far away from you. Kind of weird. You guys are way out there. Thank you, Dave, for the Deadline article.
I'm the one person who is not in the craft. I'm not a practitioner of AI, but I'm an enthusiastic observer. I'm Dade Hayes with Deadline, by the way. Pleased to be with everybody. And with these 2.
I really enjoy Deadline, by the way. I have for a long time.
So much. Let's talk about
what you do. Deadline's great.
This was so great as a setup for our conversation because it really gives you a sense of the look and feel. I want to talk about the collaboration between your companies and how that match was made. So how did you guys come together?
Yeah, I appreciate Amazon. Amazon is a very rare company that really does live by its stated principles online. I keep testing them. They don't break. It's interesting. But the idea of, really innovating. And it just so happened with House of David that we were the first, that Amazon was looking for a first use case. I'm a former 3D animator. Any 3D animators? Volumetrics and IK chain and distributed rendering at age 22. I'm like, I'm out. I'm going on with my life. But when we kind of the deal with Amazon was if we can successfully get generative AI shots into the show, first in the industry to our knowledge, I want to talk about it. I want to be very vocal about it. I think that's the right thing to do. I think I believe in these tools. I believe in the positive impact these tools are going to have on our industry. So I want to talk about it. So they let me, which is rare. And it was those first kind of press releases and stories like the one that you just wrote for us that Amit, who's the founder CEO of Luma, reached out. And we just started a conversation. And, I think overall, if I've learned anything, just partner with people that value what you value and value the same things. And he did. And that led to a friendship that then led to a business partnership where that is Innovative Dreams.
And Josh, from your end, you knew of John's work, you knew of what he was up to, but now that you've had the chance to work more closely together, what was your perspective on this collaboration?
So first of all, it's important for us to mature our tools to work with the most visionary people in this space. And I have to say, having worked with John, I think that you're the most visionary person working right now in this space.
Is that recorded any? Need my ringtone?
Yeah, and it really helps us mature the tools that we're building for filmmakers and for creative professionals. And so, but seeing what he's built and being on set and watching this all unfold in real time is it's quite compelling. Even as someone I've worked in film for 20 years before, being a part of an AI company, and it's really incredible to see. Yeah.
And actually, let's stay there for a second. Maybe take a step back and talk about Dream Lab and how you set that up, what the aim of it was, and some of that work that went into that.
Mm-hmm. So Dream Lab is a creative research division within Luma. We're based in Los Angeles here. And the goal is to both work with filmmakers and creatives in this space, but also to help mature our tools and technology through production rigor and workflows. So everybody on the Dream Lab team comes from some traditional production background, and maybe they found AI a few years ago, or maybe they're completely new to it within the last few years. But what we do is heavily get the models at their earliest checkpoints and the tools at their earliest checkpoints, and we try to push them through as much, kind of traditional production rigor as we can. That's a combination of whether that is, shooting something practically or whether it's using 3D animation to drive the results. But we're looking at all of the different ways that these tools can be used, and the proceeds of that end up typically being sort of a variety of different showcase things that we make, whether that's like a short narrative piece or just sort of a proof of concept of how could you do effects and particle sims and things like that in this type of workflow. So yeah.
What I'm grateful for too with Luma is, you always have to ask, especially with emerging technology, who bends to whom? Do artists bend to the technology, or does the technology bend to the needs of the artist? And we're a by filmmaker, for filmmaker ecosystem. And so what I love about Luma and their mindset is start with the needs of the artist and start with the vision and shape the tools to the way they want to work and ways that are intuitive and human and really creative. And they've done that. I remember with their agents feature, we had, kind of a lot of beta access and input. I was like, this is the tool that we've needed and have been waiting for. And it's intuitive and human and creative and collaborative. And it's so easy to teach existing people in the industry, which I'm excited about. And that's very rare.
And what comes across in the material that you showed and the sizzle is that this is an evolving thing. It's a living, breathing organism, in effect, that continuously is iterating and learning. Can you talk about your process of how you shepherd that evolution? Because you have so many collaborators, you have so many people involved. Are you soliciting feedback from 360 degrees from different people saying, this is off or that could be tweaked, or just talk about that evolution?
Yeah, what I love is the community of AI artists, and I love being one, and I love talking to others. And I think for a while, I don't know if Jeff Synthesized is here, great AI artist, and for a while we were working together, and he wouldn't tell me how he was doing anything till I knew how to do something he didn't know how to do. He's like, how do you do that? And we would trade secrets. And I feel like that's kind of opened up, and there's just some great people that I admire, like Dave Clark somewhere here, and PJ, and Caleb and their whole team. And it's what a cool moment we're in. Like, who gets to do this? Who gets to ride a tidal wave and do something first? And I take that very seriously. I think I like what Jeff Bezos said. Thank you, Amazon. He said innovation doesn't change the world. It's the adoption of innovation that changes the world. Well, someone has to choose how new tools are adopted. Most every car will go triple the speed that we've set as a society on the 405, And so we test all the tools. We have theoretical, that's how fast will the car go and when does it brake? And then we have applied science, which is the only way anything gets to the screen, which is how should these tools be used and what is the correct ethical use case? That and I love being a part of that conversation, because with any new technology, like when the internal combustion engine comes out, all of a sudden you have to ask, what should the speed limit be on the road? No, you didn't have to ever ask that with a horse. It was like a gallop, And so, whenever there is innovation and seismic innovation, it falls to some group of people to wrestle it to the ground and decide how to use it. And that is the break, the kind of the tipping point that I feel right now is we should ask, why not us? Why not now? And I think it's a lot easier sometimes to criticize something rather than get a little curious and roll up your sleeves and help create the future. And I think the best way to predict the future is to help create it. And so, to me, to answer your question, we have a unique obsession with these tools, and I think we just put more reps on the tools than anyone else that I know that is sane, and because we love it. And I think it's in that iterative testing and just putting reps and reps and reps on the tools that you make discoveries, and then you apply those discoveries to a production.
And we had a question about Realtime. Can you go a little deeper on the pursuit of that? Or is it within sight? Or anything you can tell us about closing that gap?
I would say it's fast enough to be really, really cool right now. Like, we can be doing a take and genning that take while we're still in the same setup. So it's nonlinear filmmaking. It's amazing. If it could get as fast as Realtime, that would be amazing. But I'm kind of blown away with how fast it is right now. But he said no comment. Blink twice if Realtime is possible. I don't know.
Well, to pick up on the point of the speed, I mean, I thought it was very interesting that you shared the timeline, whether you should have or not, about the turnaround.
Everybody that works with me is like, oh no, they're going to expect us. We only did that because of a scheduling. We're not. There's no representation or warrants that we can do that again at Amazon or anyway.
But it was consistent, I think, with what we heard on this stage yesterday from Albert Chang at Amazon, who was talking about, a quantity. I mean, when you say quantity, that sort of suggests, quantity versus quality. I don't think he was saying that at all, but he was talking about essentially breaking down production into different units, instead of, praying for a, $200 million tentpole project, kind of keep the pipeline full of these leaner, meaner productions, which I think yours kind of fits the bill of. Can you kind of expand on that a little bit, especially from the standpoint of jobs and getting production on its feet here?
Yeah, I certainly can. I would say that volume is kind of a whole other question. What I am interested in is velocity and content. My strong opinion, and in some instances contrarian opinion, I'm not saying I'm right, I just disagree, is that when people say, I'm worried about, this technology taking our jobs in LA, I'm like, what jobs? Where are these jobs? And so I think Hollywood reported an interesting article about there's really no statistical link, because I'm one of the only shows I know that uses the tools. So the tools are not widely implemented yet, and yet 50,000 jobs have been lost. Because dollar for dollar, it really is impossible to compete with Eastern Europe unless the United States would step up and do a federal tax incentive to top off the states. We would like that. But until then, hopeful that will happen. We have to innovate to work here again. So I think the primary reason for job loss, the primary contributors, are the escalating cost of production and the time it takes to create. So if you can attack those two things with an innovative technology, I would say that just by virtue of reason, that would be a chance to bring jobs back to Los Angeles and America. And I think what's going to happen is, so I think people that are, you kind of have to believe, if you're really worried about job loss, that the jobs that you're talking about are somehow stable. They're not. When you say we can actually make something 3 times as fast at a third of the budget and employ, the illustration I use is House of David. I was told by some very rational, smart people that I was crazy and that we needed 3 times the amount of money to do the show. And I think, has anyone other filmmaker ever been told this? This is a sentence that will crush your soul. When someone basically pats you on the head and says, you know what, John, you just need to think of a smaller idea, just something else. And I'm like, I didn't get in this business to think about small ideas, and so we have this thing, we say we don't compromise, we innovate. And by innovating the way we made the show employs 600 people. Those are real jobs, and that's a lot of jobs. So I actually think that the application of this tool set is going to be a remedy. There might be some disruption in getting there, kind of like there was in the music business, but I think it's going to be a remedy for job loss, and it's going to create a lot. This is additive. These are things that would not have been greenlit otherwise, and that are being made so much faster. And I think that's good for the industry and good for the audience. No one wants Robert Pattinson to be elderly by the time Batman 2 rolls around. You know what I'm saying? And so I think velocity of content is going to change the relationship to the audience, and you're going to be able to nurture IP and ideas, and then they're going to be able to blossom into larger things.
With your location shooting, you talked about that with Moses. Are you building a library that will down the road be accessed by productions so that maybe they don't have to send a crew over to Greece or to Spain?
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. We do a ton of scanning and asset collection that's typically associated with the project itself. I hadn't really thought about doing that in a way that's licensable to other projects. I should think about that. So we do a lot of stuff, but I haven't thought about making it applicable to other projects. It's a good idea. I'll
Josh, any thoughts?
Figure it out.
I mean, it seems like, if Google Maps can do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're in that age of technology.
I do think we lead the world in this industry, in entertainment. So to work here again, we have to bring the world here. And some of the best ways to bring the world here is to scan locations, put them on these walls.
I did want to get a thought from you guys, and this might sound antithetical to the performance component of Innovative Dreams, but Paul Schrader was here earlier. I don't know if you got a chance to hear what he said, but his view is that we will see fully AI protagonists, not just on screen, but bankable ones, making money in the movie theater. Can you envision that? I mean, is again very antithetical to the performance component. You talked about Sir Ben and everything you've been up to with your company. But just speaking more broadly, I mean, do you feel like the tipping point you mentioned, there is so much momentum toward that? I mean, it's an interesting idea.
First of all, I love Paul Schrader. I would say, again, I hold contrarian points of views. I do disagree on this issue. I think when you look at as the models really get where we need them, which is like 4K, 16-bit HDR, there's an exponential load on compute, and therefore the models are going to get expensive. And I think can you get a synthetic performance? Sure. Should you? I don't think so, because I think the collaboration with the actor and the director and throw in the camera is the heart and soul and heartbeat of our industry. And in my opinion, it should be preserved at all costs, because I just think I think there's something about the way we connect with each other. And I agree with what Del Toro said, although we obviously share very different opinions about AI, but that the job of directing really is to facilitate an environment where happy accidents can happen. And that involves collaboration. This is the symphony of art. And so I think this industry is best served when it's collaborative. And in my opinion, I've just had the good fortune of directing some really great actors. Sir Ben, Stephen Lang, it's in the Avatar films and House David, quite a few. and feeling something in your heart and soul and trying to write it, and then giving it to someone who has dedicated their life to that craft, the difference is staggering, and the difference is worth it. And we can get these things cheap enough and fast enough that I think that they'll be readily greenlit. And yeah, but I like it that filmmakers are coming out and saying, this is my line in the sand. For me, the collaboration with the actor is my line in the sand.
And Josh, you've been on a bit of an education tour. You've been showing this technology to a number of folks in the industry here. What would you say the aha moments have been? I mean, do you see that people are learning what the capabilities are? And I mean, it's sort of I think a well understood venture here in this room. But as you take it out into the wider world and in throughout the industry, I don't know who else is out there. We've heard lots about Amazon because we're in their backyard, but on their lot. But just talk a little bit about your interactions with people who are coming to this new. They're looking to you, someone with expertise, as well as John and his team, to kind of walk them through it. Like, what questions do they tend to have, and how have you seen them process the concept of what you're trying to bring to market? You have brought to market.
I think a lot of the people that are coming to us right now from the film kind of world have a similar idea as John, and it's something that we're very supportive of. And if you follow our models and research, that a lot of what we do is designed to support the human process of filmmaking and the human creative process. So a lot of our models that we build are about allowing actors to drive performances, about supporting the filmmaking process as it is, and we're seeing a lot of people come with that interest right now. I would say of how can we combine these processes, and we always have to point to John because this is like where it's happening right now. And so, I think that's the primary thrust of people coming to us that are really interested, are filmmakers, producers, people in that space. And of course, we have a lot of, other avenues, that people in the advertising and, commercial spaces that are using it for broader things. But I think the differentiator for us is like this agentic and collaborative platform that we have. So, plugging together 1,000 nodes to make a thing. You're just telling the agent what you want to do, give it an instruction set, and then go from there. So it's kind of it.
And what would you say this venture represents for Luma in terms of its journey in film and television? I mean, you set up shop here in LA. When was that? About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah. It's a Silicon Valley company in its origins, and then came down here.
Yeah, I mean, I hope, if anything, that it's evidence that we're deeply invested in filmmaking and the creative process, and supporting visionary filmmakers, and we want to keep doing more of that and building that out. And there's still plenty of room for this technology to grow and mature. And thanks to partnerships with John, we have a direct line to the front lines of this process in filmmaking, and we're able to mature and improve our tools based on the things that they're encountering on a day-to-day basis. So
we had this thing that we say, this technology will never emerge in a theoretical vacuum. So you kind of have to just go for it. And we take great pride in being the group that we just keep jumping out of airplanes with the components of a parachute, kind of assembling it on the way down, and that means there's a lot of pressure on the evolution of the tools. And there's a lot of calls to Josh. Now there's I need it to do this right now because this is going to air on on Prime, and I'm going to be stuck with whatever that is for the rest of my life. So make it do this now. And what we found is that there just wasn't that collaborative feedback loop with the foundation models, and they were anxious to make the products that we needed, and that's been a cool transition.
Yeah. Do you think that spirit of collaboration is unique to this kind of community? Or, I mean, because it's a competitive world out there, right?
I think I love being here because I think if I've learned anything, like the business that we work in is crazy and hard and cutthroat and disappointment to disappointment and winner take all. It's a hard business. But what we get to do in it is magical. Like, we get to dream onto a screen in a way that's hopefully entertaining and inspiring to other people. So whatever I can do to maintain a connection to that magic of what I felt when my dad bought me a camera when I was 16 with money he did not have, Canon XL1 for any nerds out there. And I feel connected to that when I'm in this setting and this group. It's really a fun, I feel like we're kind of all in it together. It's this kind of like rising tide lifts all boats, revolution of rebels. And I know I have never felt this creative and collaborative. And so I really don't think a lot about the criticisms, because I just like being a part of this community. And I love the work and I love the tools. And it feels like surfing a tsunami wave. And so, yeah, there's something very special about being here and kind of the atmosphere and vibe. And it's very, very generous, group. I feel like we're all rooting for each other, even with companies that are quote unquote competitive.
Well, I liked that you involved the audience earlier, and I'm told we have maybe 5 minutes to go. Do you want to see if we have a final question or two? Do you guys have anything burning that you haven't had addressed? John, it was good to get some things back, right?
Yeah, so basically it's post-production and somebody's editing this. Yes, we have spent a lot of time on workflow, and one of the things to put in your brain that really was liberating for me is this is not visual effects. This is not a replacement for visual effects. This is new principal photography. This is footage you couldn't shoot. And so we deliver it in batches, what we call digital principal photography. And so I can be directing a movie or a TV show, and we're shooting the VFX at the same time as I'm shooting the scene, and we're delivering that in batches to editorial. And we've applied a lot of thought and automation and stuff with our partners at AWS to that process. So if you think about it as new footage and you process it that way, that's a very liberating thing. It comes in with audio just like your camera comes in with audio. And in some cases you can use it, in some cases you can't. But really spending time on how you organize the footage and just treating it as new batches of principal photography is one of the most liberating things I think you can wrap your head around.
So what's really unique about, hearing you guys talk is there's a lot of people who are really fluent in AI and a lot of people who are just fluent in filmmaking. Obviously, you can speak both languages and are pretty, open to working with both. So how do you see Innovative Dreams kind of like opening up AI education to, emerging filmmakers who are looking for work and so forth?
Yeah, very passionate about it. About education. We've done a lot of educational resources just for our internal and for also our partners at Amazon. And we're actively talking about, okay, when do we just kind of start making these available? And we're trying to document everything we're learning. The reality is we're hiring a lot of AI artists. We just need more people, and we need people to be trained as fast. That's one of the great barriers right now, is just training people to work in a collaborative way with these tools. And so, yeah, we do have resources. Stay tuned. InnovativeDreams.com, I think, is where we'll live, and or our YouTube page. And we're thinking about when and how to put those resources out. There's also a lot of great artists that I follow. Curious Refuge, Theoretical Media, PJ. There's just some wonderful people that are just very generous with their workflows, and I'm grateful.
Well, June 18th is the big day. I hope everybody took note of that, and we'll take you up on the invitation.
We decided that late last night, so sounds cool. Yeah, come to the lab. We're it is a factory. It is a Willy Wonka chocolate factory. It's a space. It's for you. It's for this process and for everything that you do. Come by.
Well, thanks so much, John and Josh, for joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.